When the San Andreas Mercenaries update dropped about a year ago, I wasn't a huge fan. In fact, that's probably an understatement. So much so that, to be honest, until Thursday I momentarily forgot what the LSA even was. However, for those of you unaware, this week Rockstar has thrown double money in RP on these very same LSA Operations, which, by the way, debuted with the Mercenaries DLC. And even though, in my opinion, this whole DLC is a major bust, there is one particular mission, or operation, that I always come back to. And this week I'm going to walk you through this operation and provide a bunch of tips and tricks that will hopefully make this one of your favorites as well. The beauty of this particular mission is that it's quick, easy, and can be set up in a way that will allow you to complete it back to back to back. Except, of course, after you've adhered to the 20-minute cooldown. I'm talking about the Surgical Strike Operation. Now, for me, I never liked this DLC for two reasons. Number one, the operations as a whole are simply too drawn out and expend a lot of energy, meaning they're rather difficult. And number two, the payouts are simply not worth it. So much so that I never opted to purchase the Avenger on my PC account. What you're seeing here is from my PS5. Even with this easy surgical strike mission, it just wasn't worth it. Again, in my opinion. Okay, so in order to take full advantage of what you're about to see in this video, you're going to need 4 important vehicles. The Avenger, with all the upgrades from the DLC, the Thruster, which can be stored in the Avenger, the Sparrow helicopter, and the Mark II. So yeah, this isn't necessarily going to be a video for the newbie. All of these vehicles, especially now, are going to set you back a lot of money. Now, to be fair, there may be other vehicles you can use to replace the Thruster and Sparrow that are a lot more, let's say, cost effective. This is just what I began using and stuck with it. If there's other vehicles that can be used, and you'll understand the importance of utilizing these vehicles here in a moment, then yeah, please share in the comments below. For me, I already had these vehicles and found they work well, even though, yeah, I know, they're a lot of money. This is one of the reasons why I forced myself to find at least one operation that was beneficial, to recoup some of the millions that I spent. Alright, so there's 3 available LSA operations in the Avenger: the Direct Action Operation, the Whistleblower Operation, and the Surgical Strike Operation. We'll be focusing on the latter. So when you choose a Surgical Strike Operation, the finale is going to occur in one of 3 different locations: the Humane Labs Research Area, Martin Madrazo's farm, or what they're calling La Fuente Blanca, and El Burro Heights, or more precisely, the refinery area east of the city. However, only one of these locations is ideal, and that's the El Burro Heights location. You'll see why here in a moment. There will also be one of 3 different locations when doing the setups for this operation. Now, this all sounds confusing, but the goal here is to ensure we get the same setup location and the same finale location every time we choose this operation. So what we need to do first is perform some basic pre-op tasks before we kick this whole thing off, to guarantee we get all the good locations. The first objective is to always make sure we get the El Burro finale. To do this, head to Humane Labs so we can call in our first vehicle. We want to place one of our vehicles here so the game will not give us this as an option in the finale. For me, I always call in my Thruster. If you park your Mark II here and then call it in, it'll be placed in a perfect spot behind you. Once it appears, you're done. Simply leave the area and then head to the second location. The next location is Martin Madrazo's farm. We don't want the finale to take place here either, so we're going to be spawning in our Sparrow. What you want to do is park your Mark II here before calling it in. Trust me, if you go anywhere else, it'll either spawn on the freeway below, which means longer to travel, or it'll spawn between buildings and make it incredibly difficult to take off. Once it appears, head to the circular corral area with your Mark II. This is where you'll be parking the Sparrow. Again, this will now guarantee that we will not be getting this location for the finale. done, it's time now to ensure we get the ideal setup location. For this, we're going to be heading to the Davis Mega Mall parking lot. Once at the mall, you're going to want to head to the southwesternmost point of the parking lot. Just park your oppressor in this general area here. Once in position, you'll now be calling in your Avenger. What this does is place the Avenger in the open baseball field just to the west. This will always allow us to get the ideal setup location that's at the docks, which is a stone's throw from the baseball field. If you park the Avenger any closer, you'd have to go farther to 2 other areas for the initial setup. Now, at this point, you're probably thinking, that was a lot of work. Well, you're right, it was. But the beauty of this is that all this hard work is now done. Unless you change sessions or quit the game, the vehicles we just placed are always going to be there, allowing us to knock this mission out every 20 minutes and make a lot of money. Okay, now for the operation. This next bit is completely optional, but what I like to do first is plant some sticky bombs at the finale location right below what will be an insurgent gunner. This will be the hardest of the enemies to kill, at least with a Mark II in the finale. The insurgent will always be parked here between the red container and the white shed. You'll see some off-white colored cracks in the ground where I'm pointing. This is where the vehicle will be parked. You can only plant 5 sticky bombs, so just arrange them around this cracked area and you'll be all set. Alright, now for the finale. Simply head back to your Avenger and we can kick this whole thing off. Again, there's going to be 3 different LSA operations. The Surgical Strike operation will always be the middle one on the screen. And because it's double bubble this week, you can expect anywhere from around 93,000 for the professional level and around 138,000 for the specialist level. Not too shabby for about 5 to 8 minutes of work. Once you select the operation, leave and then climb aboard your Mark II. Again, because of the location of our Avenger, you'll always be heading to the docks. Technically, you need to locate a smuggler to hack their phone. But don't do this. It's far quicker to just kill the smuggler and then steal the phone. What I do is simply fly low. This will alert the guards and get the smuggler to start running. Don't use any of your oppressor's lock-ons, you'll need these for the finale. Simply buzz the enemies until you see a green dot. This will indicate the smuggler has been identified and will result in them starting to run. Simply fly ahead of them, get off, kill them, steal the phone, and then leave. Unfortunately, one of the byproducts of killing them is you'll get a wanted level. However, once you leave the area, simply call up Lester and then they will go away.
If it isn't my creepy silent friend, how can I help? So you don't want to get in serious trouble, huh? Okay, leave it with me.
Start heading east towards the refinery area, where we planted the sticky bombs. When you get close enough where your Mark II locks on, you can then trigger the bombs, which will destroy the insurgent gunner. There'll be a bunch of other enemies, but if you're strategic and take your time, you should have little trouble eliminating all of them from the air. If not, simply land and then finish them off. Now I want to pause here and discuss the bonus items. There will always be one of 3 different bonus items available at the finale. Each one is worth an additional $15,000. There's a mysterious artifact, there's some blueprints, or a Merryweather disguise outfit. My tip here is completely ignore the disguise outfit. It's simply not worth it. The location is a decent distance away, meaning it's going to take longer to complete, and when you return, unless you call in your oppressor after, you'll be on the ground fighting instead of in the air. For me, if I get this one, I just ignore it. The other 2 are worth it and will be located in the area where you'll be planting the flares. Once all the enemies are gone, you'll see 3 green crate icons in the minimap. Simply drop down and begin looking for the blueprints or artifact. They're pretty easy to locate, and when you get close, there will be a white flashing icon also showing up in the minimap. The flares will always be located in the same spot, sitting on some concrete barricades at the southeast section of this area. Once you have them, begin throwing them at the 3 different green crates identified earlier. Now for the easy part. What you want to do now is always head to this area here before calling in the airstrike, right between these 2 little bushes. What this does is provide a proper distance away from the explosions that'll occur, but it will also put you in the ideal place to steal the armored truck, which is the main objective for this operation. Once in position, press the right arrow key and the airstrike cutscene will begin.
Sounds like a direct hit to me. Get ready over there. PS eyes on backup moving in. And they got...
After it's over and Charlie finishes his speech, equip a weapon and then wait for the armored truck to magically appear directly in front of you. You can take out the gunner and driver pretty easy and quickly, and that's it. Just climb aboard and then head to the drop-off point. And that's the beauty of this finale. It's literally a 15 to 20 second drive to the drop-off point. This whole operation should only take you 5 to 8 minutes to complete. And then when you're done, you can simply mix in some other money grinding activities, and in 20 minutes, head back to the Avenger and do this whole thing over again. For this week, you can earn around $100,000 for about 8 minutes of work. Like I said, the easiest and best mission in the entire DLC. Alright, so that's it, my friends. Thank you for watching. As always, if you like this video and want to help out, please subscribe, give a thumbs up, and let me know what you think. Are any of these tips and tricks old hat? Or perhaps you have some additional tips you'd like to share? If so, drop a comment below and let everyone know. Until next time, be happy, be well, be safe, be the one. Maestro.